Welcome back. Hello, my friends, and thank you so much for coming to spend part of your Monday, September 16th, 2024 with me. We were just made aware that there will be a press conference at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time by the Worcester County DA's office with regard to the death of Massachusetts State Police trainee Enrique Delgado-Garcia, who was tragically killed, I'm going to say killed, on Thursday, September 12th, which was just last week. I'm going to say it happened at the Massachusetts State Police Training Academy. Initial news reports said that it was during a boxing exercise that Enrique suffered some sort of medical event. He was transported, I won't even say immediately because there are some reports that it took 10 minutes for 911 to be called, but it's also been reported that he was transported to UMass Medical Center by personnel at the police academy. There's a lot of sketchy details. I did a show about it last night with Sean McDonough. Tragically, Enrique Delgado-Garcia was put on life support immediately, either en route to or at UMass Memorial Hospital, where he remained on life support until 24 hours later, approximately, when life support was discontinued, and he tragically died. The family was told that this happened during a training exercise, a defensive training exercise during a boxing match. And the family has been very vocal with media and through social media that when they came to see Enrique in the hospital, he was missing most of his teeth. His teeth were broken. He had massive brain damage, skull fractures, and now we're finding out also a fractured leg in addition to many bruises all over his body. And they have serious doubts that this happened during a training exercise. I'm curious to see what the Worcester County DA's office is going to say during their press conference. We also watched footage last night of Enrique's body being transported to the medical examiner's office for an autopsy. It'd be interesting to see what the autopsy shows as well. Sean McDonough, who actually sent a super chat thanking me for all I do. No, thank you, Sean, for all that you do, because you give a voice to so many people who are afraid to speak out. So many people who are afraid to speak out actually contact you. And so you're doing God's work, Sean. Thank you. And Yuri's math teacher, thank you for gifting 10 memberships. You're amazing and so generous always to this channel, as is Sarah and Schwak and Hara. And to all of you who are randomly selected by YouTube to receive those memberships, thank you to you as well. There have been, sort of fluffy, benign statements by Colonel Maughan, who is the head of the Massachusetts State Police, about what a great guy Enrique was. And your governor, Maura Healey, has also spoken out in also a relatively shallow, benign way. But nobody's really said, we're going to get to the bottom of what happened to Enrique, because one of the doctors at the hospital is reported as saying it looked like he got hit by an automobile that was going at least 100 miles an hour. So this is tragic. This is very sad. And prayers up to Enrique Delgado-Garcia and his family. And this one is hitting different, Kelly. Thank you for that. I mean, it was Enrique's dream to be in New York State, a Massachusetts state trooper. It was his dream. And before he entered the police academy just this past April at age 25, he worked at the Worcester County DA's office as a victim advocate. And now it is the same DA's office that is going to be investigating his death. From all accounts, he was loved. He was a wonderful human being, a wonderful man. Last night in the chat, someone said that on Valentine's Day, he would buy all of the girls flowers so that they didn't feel left out. And if that doesn't give you the chills, I don't know what will. I've got Boston 10 up. They're going to be covering this live when it happens. Supposedly at 11:30. It's 11:20 run right now here on the East Coast. Intolerant, thanks for being a member for 5 months, says Massachusetts corruption again. Not a good look. Was it an accident? Is it a cover-up? Are there other trainees out there who are witnesses who are afraid to speak up? Is the FBI already involved? Have they already spoken to witnesses? I have so many questions. Sean also said that the family was shown an 8-minute boxing video. Was it inverted? Was there a fake timestamp on it? I have so many questions. Jessica, thanks for being a member for 4 months. Thank you for all that I do. Thank you. Thank you all for watching. We're going to go to that press conference as soon as it comes up on Boston 10 because they're covering it live. So thank you to all of my very collaborative viewers who were watching me on the earlier Long Island serial killer Gilgo Beach press conference by Suffolk County, New York District Attorney Ray Tierney. I'll get my voice one of these days. Ray Tierney. New information on one of the Gilgo Beach victims and new sketches were released. So thank you to the viewer who pointed out to me that this was happening at 11:30, and here we are. We're covering it. We are right here for it. All right. Well, we're gonna have to suffer through commercials probably, but it's what we do here. It's live television, so Dr. On Call says cancel graduation until this is solved. This was the 90th recruit class, and they're scheduled to graduate on October 9th. Teresa, thanks for your super chat. First time I'm hearing about this case. Can you give a breakdown? And also, hello. Well, I think I just did give a breakdown, so I'm not sure when you posted this. You posted this just now. So I just did, actually. Enrique Delgado-Garcia was a trainee at the police academy at the Massachusetts State Police was it in Braintree, East Braintree, South Braintree, one of the Braintrees. His dream was to become a Massachusetts State Police trooper. He was in training. He was at the end of his training. He entered the academy in April, 25 years old, scheduled to graduate October 9th. He was first in his class. Tragically killed last Thursday, September 12th, during what the media has been told was a defensive training exercise, a boxing match. Transported to UMass Memorial with what the family says horrific injuries. Looked like he was pummeled, beaten to death, fractured skull, all his teeth missing, 3 fractured vertebrae in his neck. I forgot to mention that earlier. So he had a broken neck, 3 fractured vertebrae. And what we are also now learning could be a fractured leg. No doctors at the medical center gave a press conference to say anything about this case, which is unusual because that usually does happen. And he was on life support from the time he entered the hospital. He was sworn in as a trooper during his final moments, and 24 hours later, his family decided to terminate life support, and he tragically died at 25 years old. This is the first that we're going to hear as from an official press conference. Colonel Maughan put out a statement that was rather benign, as did your governor, Maura Healey. So we're here to try and learn some new information about what exactly happened to Enrique and what's going to be done about it. Thanks, Nay. Prayers and justice for Enrique and all who loved him. Yes. Mary Poppins says, of course they're afraid to speak up. I would be too. My daughter is in law enforcement. This is petrifying. Agent O'Donnell is embarrassed to be from Massachusetts right now. Nurse Corky, same. So many questions. So many questions. Whoever did this needs to come forward, says True Crime Addict. Emma says no timestamp. I wouldn't even say, I would say whoever witnessed, if anybody witnessed this. If it was a training exercise, there had to have been a trainer in the room. There had to have been some sort of official supervision. There had to have been perhaps other recruits, trainees around. Witnesses for sure. There are NDAs apparently. Why hazing? I don't know anything about the NDAs. There's been some buzz out there that they sign NDAs when they go into training. I haven't seen an NDA. I'm hesitant to even call it an NDA, so I'm not sure what paperwork they signed. I haven't seen anything, but NDAs do not protect do not protect criminal conduct. Yeah, Carly Gregg, I don't think they're televising it today. I heard that Carly Gregg is not going to be televised until the jury is seated. So we were going to cover that today, but it looks like we are not. Reality check. Was it clear so you could see who it really was? You mean the boxing video? Yeah, was it 100 yards away? Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, the other thing was right, Boozy Beauty. Thank you. There was no Spanish interpreter on staff at the hospital to translate to the family what happened to their son, Enrique, who was on life support. Apparently, this hospital does have a whole team of interpreters at the ready, and they're required to under the law. So that's insane. Cheyenne says, "How is broken teeth, broken neck, fractured leg an accident? It's a damn beatdown that did not stop." That's what it seems like. Yeah, D-Mart was the video from that day. Have my doubts. We don't know. We don't know. A lot of people are doubting it was an accident. People want to see metadata of the video. Yeah. Amanda, all videos must be checked now, thanks to Proctor and Company, as do all the medical examiners, right? Because apparently medical examiners are easily swayed to say what some of the troopers may want them to say with regard to death certificates and manners of death. It's in New Braintree, out past Bar, Rutland, Oakham. Thank you. Ruth Ann says, "This is so tragic. I had to get my box of Kleenex because it's sad to see a young man." And my prayers and thoughts go out to the family. Mine too. Nobody should ever bury a child. Also, a younger Massachusetts state trooper took his own life over the weekend. That's horrible. Janine breaks a lot of people's hearts. You're not alone. Thank you, Debbie. For those of you who didn't see it, Sean and I did do a show on this last night. It was well received. So if you don't know a lot about this case, you might want to go take a look at that. See what he's talking about right now because I turned off his volume.
Garden, of course, set up there this summer, but their new retail space.
Oh, that ain't it. But we'll keep it up here because I know you guys don't like to miss a thing. Right, Mungadas, the thing is, where was the supervisor? Did it really happen during a training exercise? They are provided with protective gear when they do their boxing training exercises, including headgear. You know, there's something like 16, I think, what did you say? 16-ounce boxing gloves that are the really puffy kind, for lack of a better term. Mouth guards. How did he break all his teeth? I mean, Sean showed pictures last night that the family gave us permission to show. Looks like he was stomped on, in my opinion. Here we go.
Enrique Delgado-Garcia. He died last week during defensive tactics training exercises at the State Police Academy. Again, we are expecting an update on his death very soon from the Worcester County Courthouse. We will carry that live here on NBC Boston.
Very soon. So not right exactly now, but very soon. So go watch that show later if you need to catch up on this. Yep. Bob Bergman says MSP has a new colonel coming in October with baggage. I don't know about the baggage, but a lot of you are talking about that. I don't really want to watch the commercials, so I'm going to put it back when the commercials are done. Magnolia Gypsy, yeah, it all needs to be put on hold. Teresa's thinking murder. I want transparency on this case. Or, a tune-up that went incredibly wrong. Doesn't even need to have been intentional. But like Sean said, listen, Sean's been through 3 academies. He said, listen, all that, whatever hazing stuff, if it exists, happens in the beginning to weed the kids out, right? It doesn't happen 2 weeks before graduation because nobody wants to go be receiving their kudos and walking down the aisle and with the black eyes. It doesn't make sense, right? Margaret says, what's with this automatic hit by a car at high speeds determination? How many minutes did it take for that one? Outraged. We are outraged, and we have emojis for the members from all of the trials that we cover, but most pertinent to this one could be the we are outraged emoji, which is right here. Thank you. Not the hospital. The MSP had no translator, but I don't think there was a hospital. I don't think there was a translator at the hospital either because Sean spoke with the family. Thanks, Magnolia Gypsy. My understanding was they didn't have a translator at the hospital to interpret what the doctor was telling them about their son's condition as well. Elaine, thank you so much. What are the chances it wasn't another recruit? Perhaps it was an instructor that did it. Yeah, could be. We don't know. We absolutely don't know. Thanks, Elaine, for your 10. Was it something that happened in the usual course of, police academy training? Original twits wanted to spin it as some sort of medical event, as if he, had a cardiac condition and just fell over with headgear on in a boxing ring, which is padded, right? Fractured all his teeth, fractured 3 vertebrae in his neck, and somehow broke his own leg. I don't know. Seems a little sus to me, but, that's just my opinion. Agent O'Donnell, thank you so much for becoming a member. Michelle Foster, thank you so much for your super sticker. Here we go. Maybe.
On former President Trump was just in federal court in Florida.
No.
Lauren Melendez joins us now with the latest details.
Not yet. Not yet. They have their camera set up, though, and all the mics are there, so we will get right back to it as soon as we see it come up. New Braintree. Okay, so it's New Braintree. I'm like, oh, it's one of the Braintrees. There's a regular Braintree too, right? Not my neck of the woods, folks. Not my neck of the woods, as you can see. Thank you, Nay. Prayers and justice for Enrique and all who love him. I don't know when the funeral is, Stace Cakes. They're going to have to do the autopsy first, and who knows how long that could take. I don't know if they're going to do an independent autopsy as well. So when we have information on that, we will certainly publicize it. Thanks for asking. Elaine says, I think the FBI should ascend the academy and take custody of all recruits. No, this is the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office. For full interviews, this cannot be left in the hands of the MSP. Well, we've learned that they can't police themselves, can they? Yeah, this is in Worcester County, not Norfolk County. We're all outraged. Lawyer's daughter. New Braintree. I believe it's in Worcester County, right? That's why the Worcester County DA's office is investigating this. Melissa says, I live right next to the academy in New Braintree. If you could hear how the instructors holler and scream at the cadets, it's horrific. Huh. Will who see what? Dave Matthews Band lover, 1924. Yep, broken neck, 3 vertebrae. Here we go.
So we want to make sure that all the parents and the kids and the teachers and staff feel comfortable going to their schools. So we've been working around the clock trying to figure out who sent this anonymous threat.
No. Another anonymous threat to a school in Massachusetts, not the press conference yet. And Robinson says they waited 10 minutes to take him to the hospital. Thank you, Carla. This is a threat of violence to a school. Another one. Ann says, I hope the conference gives us some information and shows the same video they showed the parents. My heart goes out to his family. I have doubts about them showing us the video, don't you? Because all of my armchair detectives and armchair sleuths would immediately be able to point out that it probably didn't happen on that day. Probably wasn't even him in the video. And who knows what else. Well, thank you, Bumpus, for seeing an incredible show with me and Sean yesterday. Appreciate you. You nutty spaghetti. This is horrific. They waited 10 minutes before calling 911. He'd been unconscious for 10 minutes. I did read some of that. But who knows if what we're reading is even true, right? We're reading so much about this. And, who knows if they even called 911, if they transported him themselves because they have their own medical team on site. Why would they call 911? Maybe they did say that there was a punch and that he had been unconscious for 10 minutes. And also that he was on life support from the time that he got to the hospital, if not on the way. So was he already, what does it take for a family to decide that they're going to discontinue life support other than a prognosis from a doctor that says there's nothing we can do? He is brain dead. It's horrific. Audrey said if they waited 10 minutes to bring him to the hospital, according to Google Maps, it's 36 minutes to Worcester. No medical attention for 46. I don't know if he was airlifted. I don't know how he got there. There's so few details about this. So few details. Thanks, Karina. Says I loved your show with Sean. He really knows his stuff. It was great to watch you both do this. Yeah, I think that's at least the second one that we've done together. We did one together before he even had a channel. He reached out to me and he came on my show. Thanks. Thanks, Lori Light 360 for the win for 11 and here. We love having you here. And Michelle Foster, thank you so much for your super sticker. As we wait for the press conference to begin from the Worcester DA, we can say at least it's not Marcy's office. Actually, Bev, it is funny. Oh, yes, Ms. Reed. Is it funny? Do you think this is funny, Ms. Reed? Great name. He should have been airlifted. The MSP has their own helicopter. Yep. Weak woman, if he broke his cervical vertebra, it probably affected his drive to breath. His ability to breathe. Then EMTs did not get there for 10 minutes. He'd be brain dead by then unless they did CPR on the scene. Well, they have their own medical team, so I don't know. The details are slim and practically none at this point. Maybe this press conference will give us some more information. We're waiting for it to start. Worcester DA is Joseph Early. Thank you. Thank you so much for that, my friend. My friend Deb. Wonder who else he'll be surrounded by today. Will Colonel Mon be there? Will the governor be there? Scott says, thank you, Scott, who is actually retired, 25 years on the job. The NYPD depends on state protocol on airlifting. Jennifer says, for sure, something stinks here. Those injuries are not from training. Just like John O'Keefe's injuries were not from being hit by a car at 24 miles an hour. Just not. Thank you. Best month with the best channel. Thank you, Mama She. You're the greatest. We love having you here. Oh, I wanted to see if I saw that instructor that took his own life. Maybe in passing, I did not. Really, I don't really know too much about it, so I can't really talk about it because I haven't researched. I like to do all my homework and my due diligence before I talk about topics, but it's very sad. I mean, they were saying that there's something like a 46% dropout rate from the Massachusetts State Police Police Academy. But again, they were at the end. They were supposed to graduate, or they are graduating. The rest of the class will graduate October 9th, a couple weeks away. Hi, Kelly. Thanks, Kelly, for the 5. I'm from Worcester. Huge Latino population. No way they couldn't find a translator. My kids went to school with Worcester DA's kids. Wow. Wow. Is he a good guy, this Joseph Early? Is he a step above Michael Marcy or what? You guys know. You guys are there. You have the deets on the sitch. Shiva B. The hospital I worked at wanted us to go through the translation line so we would have it on record and a case number. That's interesting. Kate Ann says something tells me they're going to come out on the defense immediately, which tells us everything we need to know. TKS says, and them giving the badge is sickening. They act like it means something. You know, I kind of was hoping that they did it so that the family could get benefits, as if he was already a trooper, like some sort of death benefits pension. I don't know. BL says it appears most of his injuries are on his left side. Interesting. Aiden. Hi, Aiden. Aiden says, and this is Aiden's opinion, just like everyone else's opinion is their opinion. DA Joe Early is extremely corrupt. He was responsible for the first major MSP corruption story I broke in 2017. Was that like an overtime scandal? Thanks, Aiden. Yeah, JC is an idiot. Trying to worm her way into the family, trying to get the family to give her some information and find out whether or not they were going to get their own odds. We covered all this last night, but it's ridiculous. Why is this not the top story for Boston? Well, they're waiting for the live press conference to start, which was supposed to be 11:30, but they've got all the cameras, they got all the microphones set up, and they said they're going to break to it as soon as it happens. So right now it's 11:43. They could be running a little bit late. Vanessa says Aiden always has the receipts. Thanks, Harmony. You mean you actually like to put out accurate information? Canton could never. Nope. I try. Try to have documents, try to back things up. You know, that's what people do. They want to put out accurate information. If they don't care about negative engagement, they just want everybody to put hateful comments on their Twitter because they get paid for negative engagement too, then, you know, they say things like, it happens a lot that people die during police training. It's very rigorous. Yeah, because that's totally normal. LJ says the fact that they're so late says a lot. Of they scrambling what to say? Well, you'd think they would have it all scripted, right? Traffic. Samantha says, no wonder there's a 46% dropout rate. If you hear how they yell at the cadets, you know, yelling is one thing. It's verbal abuse. I mean, you gotta toughen up somehow, but this is a whole nother level. Jay Shepard said he was either in a car accident or unalived. Someone said that the family has blocked her. Well, she did send somebody a message on, I don't know if it was Twitter or Facebook or whatever, looking for info to, I don't know, report back? I don't know. Archangel 807 says the feds are coming for the hate crime murder. We'll see. Law Junkie says it's 2024. I guess 30% of the entire staff, including doctors, are bilingual. You would think. Gray space is like, come on, Worcester DA. I've got other stuff to do with my day after this. Live TV, gray space, nothing we can do about it except sit here and chat and wait. And that's what we do. It's like we're all day so far. We've been held hostage to live television. Scott says maybe this will help explain the type of force needed to fracture vertebrae. People hit by trains usually don't have fractured vertebrae. And you know, Scott, because how many deaths did you respond to of victims that were hit by subway trains and other trains? That's insane. Jessica says, someone knows what happened, speak up and stand for what's right. Enrique would have done it for you, right? That's what integrity is, isn't it? Team Brittany says, please do not post rumors or you will be timed out. Thank you, Team Brittany. Oh, come on, Boston, really? You know what? They're doing a live show too, so they're
to review their policies. Experts.
Well, there's going to be an interest rate cut in 2 years, the first one in 2 years. That's good news. Yay. They're sort of beholden to this too, but I guess they're going to break to it as soon as it happens. Yeah, please do not post rumors. You will be timed out. Thank you, Team Brittany, for the reminder. Yeah, bad attention, better than no attention. Thanks to the mods. My mods are the hardest working on YouTube. Rich Buddy gets blocked a lot. Probably blocked here too and don't even know. Well, I can see you, so you're not blocked. I don't know if I got your email. I got a lot of emails, and if I don't know your name, so I don't know. I get lots of emails. I read them. I don't always have a chance to respond to them, but Mindy says it goes way beyond yelling. But I can't like stop in the middle of a show to read people's emails. So please show me some grace when you're trying to get my attention. And, you know, please let's stay on topic in the chat as well with regard to this case. Great question. Elf, wonder how many people have died during boot camp training? I don't know. Well, we're going to wait another 90 seconds for them to come back and maybe they'll have the press conference then. D-Tut 2024. I think this is horrifying, but from what we've been told about his injuries, it sounds like he was stomped. This is my speculation only. Haven't heard or read this anywhere. Thank you. And if it's your opinion, please say it's your opinion and you're not stating it as fact because we don't like to spread misinformation. Thank you, Reality Check. I sent you an email, the direct link to the DAs. I really got to leave tell anything. Okay. I'll check, but they say they're going to cover it live. Unless you have some information that it's already started. And then again, when you guys send me emails and you've got a different name from the name that you're using on YouTube, and I have no idea, I can't be, trying to scroll through 40 emails that I've gotten since this morning to try and figure out who is who, and I don't see any email from you, Reality. So, I don't know. You're not going to be able to post links in the chat. I mean, I'm looking at the Worcester County DA's website, but I don't see anything that is live right now. The big question is, who in the brass? It's a good comment. I have to go back and find it. Of course, that's when they're going to start. Denise, as soon as your meeting starts, that's when they're going to start. Check the email. Thank you, Scott. Scott, your email's not coming up either. Here it is. See, we got it, folks. Don't worry.
Massachusetts State Police trooper. We're talking about 25-year-old Enrique Delgado-Garcia, who died after suffering some sort of incident. This was during a defensive tactics training exercise. Let's take you live to Worcester right now and listen in.
All right.
It's the family.
Right here. Okay.
If you don't mind, I'm sorry. It just looks awkward.
Okay.
It just looks awkward. He's just trying to move him around.
Jeff, you and Terry over there. Please. Yep. Right this good. Yep. Okay. All right. Good morning. Enrique Delgado-Garcia was pronounced deceased at UMass Hospital Lakeside at 4:30 p.m. on September 13th, Saturday. Enrique Delgado-Garcia was loved by everyone in our office. He's a dedicated victim witness advocate who joined our office and was with us for about a year and a half before he left our office in April to fulfill a lifelong dream of joining the Massachusetts State Police. This is a time of mourning for Enrique's family, friends, and loved ones. This includes many of us, his fellow victim witness advocates, office employees who worked alongside Enrique within our office. This is a heartbreaking and tragic loss. Enrique constantly worked to make life better for others. He was one of the first ones to help, whether it was the victims he was advocating for, his fellow co-workers. He always did so with one of the biggest smiles that you've ever seen. He was a unique individual. I remember many evenings after 6 p.m. that I'd be walking out of my office and Enrique would still be at the front, either talking on the phone to a victim's family. And it would be Enrique, myself, and Margaret Bawamba, who was the supervisor within the victim witness office. We try and get him to go home. Say, Enrique, what are you doing here? It's time to go home. And he said, no, Mr. Early, I'll be leaving soon. I got a few things I still need to do. And yeah.
You can hear the mother crying.
He'd always say, I got a little bit more here to do. I always got someone else I'm helping, Mr. Early. And because of this close relationship, someone else will be handling this matter. There's no way this office can handle this. Everyone loved Enrique. At this time, the detectives, state police detectives assigned to our office will continue to investigate this matter. They were called to the Massachusetts State Police Academy when Enrique was injured on Thursday, and they began an investigation. They've continued to investigate and continue to do so just as they would on any other case. And they will also work with whoever takes this matter. We don't have a cause of manner of death to release at this time as the autopsy report has been concluded. The autopsy has been concluded, but the autopsy report has not been finalized. It will be completed by the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. Now I'm going to be limited in what I can take for questions. I'll try and answer some questions. We're early into this. And again, our office isn't handling this. Today we're here for Enrique. This is all about Enrique. But I'll try and answer a few questions if I can.
The troopers in your office who are investigating, are they going to continue to simultaneously investigate with another outside body, or are they going to just pass what they have on to an independent investigator?
They're going to continue to investigate. I don't know who will be handling the investigation. I just know it will be someone without a stake in its outcome. Okay? They'll make those decisions. That's not for me to make those decisions. Again, I have a conflict. Whoever does take over this matter will be making those decisions. But right now, We're going to continue to investigate. We're going to do it just as it is. Will other things be done? I'm sure that they will, but that's something I can't speculate on at this point.
Family has concerns. A lot of, there's been, in other cases in the state, you know, the state police are under a lot of scrutiny for the way they've been investigating things that involve other state troopers. Would you rather see this go to the federal level and away from the state police?
Okay. I'm not going to speculate as to that, Bob. I did talk to several people about taking over this matter on Friday. I'm not going to get into who they are. I'm not going to get into who they are. And we talked about the case. My concern is that we can't investigate it, okay? And I want it done by someone who doesn't have a stake in its outcome.
Like the MSP?
I hope that answers your question.
The police are really concerned, people are really concerned that Enrique was beaten to death, that his teeth were knocked out. What are your concerns and what do you know about what happened at the academy last week?
Again, we know it was in the boxing ring. It was videotaped. But like I said, the autopsy's been concluded, but the report hasn't been finalized. So, but I shouldn't be speaking to that. It's going to be whoever we give this matter to will be able to address that. And they've got to be able to do a thorough and complete investigation. And again, it has to be someone without a stake in its outcome.
Like the MSP?
Conflict of interest to have the troopers dedicated to your office? Since, you know, State Police Academy, MSP troopers, is that a conflict?
Is that a conflict?
At this point, we have a conflict as an office, but right now we can't stop this investigation. In the state troopers that we have assigned to our state police detective unit are some of the finest, most professional people that I've ever dealt with in
Like
my life. And
Proctor?
I am certain that they will continue to do this in a
Finest.
professional way. And we've got to do things. You just can't stop an investigation. There's some things that have to be, they're time sensitive. They have to keep going. But whoever does handle this matter will have an opportunity to review everything from top to bottom, bring in outside consultants, do whatever they think they need to do with regards to this.
So who is making that decision? Remember, who will do this?
Who's making that decision, she says?
I'm speaking to people now about whether or not who will take it and who, if they have the ability to take it, and we're going back on different things right now. And
In another DA's office?
She
I
said,
don't think another DA's office is appropriate, but I don't want to get into that either. Again, they have state troopers that work, and you know, it's a paramilitary organization and there's a chain of command. So again, I'd like to see someone take this that doesn't have a stake in the outcome of this case.
Do you think this should be an FBI investigation?
Oh, I'm not going to get into that.
do you think it should be FBI?
I'm not going to get in. We don't know enough. I'm not going to speculate on that again. I just want to have someone looking at this, eyes looking at this, who doesn't have a stake in the outcome of the case.
You have a grieving family next to you that are concerned that this may be criminal. Do
Yeah.
you believe there's anything criminal that happened at the academy?
Not going to speculate. That's too early in the investigation. Again, I got a conflict. They have a conflict. We have a conflict. We love Enrique. And
You have a
again,
conflict
this is
because you
about
love
We
Enrique?
want to make sure that what needs to be done gets done. And again, by someone without a stake in the outcome of this case.
Are any policy changes going to take place at the academy
Uh,
while the investigation is pending?
Yeah, that'd be a question for the state police.
Why did Enrique want to become a police officer?
His family is looking for privacy right now, but as they tell me, it was his lifelong dream to be a state trooper.
I think they want to speak,
I
actually.
begged
Sir.
Enrique to stay. I said, come on, you got a place home. You got a home here. And we talked about maybe when you're a state trooper coming back and being a state police detective as well within our office. Because I thought he is such a fine, upstanding young man. He'd be the perfect representative for his family, his community. He's just an amazing young man.
So would they be able to say a couple of words for us?
They don't want to, and they're just asking for privacy. Yeah, I don't think any of that's changed. Yeah. Do you want to say?
Oh, some of them have been very vocal on the news.
What was he like? What do you want to know about him?
Your call. You don't have to. It's up to you.
Queremos que respeten la privacidad, el dolor.
No, they don't want to say anything. Just ask that you respect their privacy at this point. All his coworkers are over here. This is just an amazing kid.
How long was he working in your office?
About a year and a half. And I tell you, if he wasn't, well, the nicest, if he was one of the nicest employees that ever worked for us, if not the nicest employee. That smile lit up a room, and he could handle people. He'd take Margaret, his supervisor, say, Enrique, you got to get up to the courtroom. You got to get up to the courtroom. And you go, just a minute, Margaret, I have to finish with this person. I'm almost done. They want to be heard. I got to help them. And Margaret does an incredible job with her staff, about 24 people. And I know Enrique was one of her favorites too.
Joe, what does it mean that he was pinned with his badge and was given the oath of office before he's passed away?
What does it mean that he was pinned with a badge and given the oath of office?
I don't know. I don't know. You'd have to ask the state police with regards to that. I'm not going to get into that.
You don't know? Sirens on cue always.
Right now we have jurisdiction of the case. And as you can see, we can't handle this case because we have a conflict. Again, we love Enrique.
We love
I'm sure other
Enrique.
people are going to be weighing in on the case. There'd be some appropriate questions for other people. But we think right now, based on the amount of questions you have, based on the activity, based on the family's concerns, we're going to get someone to review this matter that does not have a stake in its outcome.
Someone.
You'll ultimately have jurisdiction over making the call or who takes over the investigation, or?
Our office, yes, we're going to decide where it goes out to. And again,
Oh, so you're going to decide who gets it? You're going to give it to
we're trying
Michael
to be as
Marcy?
transparent as possible. And that would be, let someone else take a look at it.
What his experience was like in the months that he spent at the academy?
Tell us
Can't get
what his
into that at this
experience was
point. I'm
like
sure that'll all be part.
at the academy.
The entirety of the incident was captured on the video?
I can't speculate.
Was the entire
Speculate,
incident
tell you
captured
that.
on the video?
Have you watched
Right now, you want to give it.
I have not. No.
He hasn't
I'm not
watched the
looking to
video?
give it to another DA's office. I don't think that would be fair to my fellow DAs. They all have state police detective units. They all have a chain of command. I'm looking for someone who can look at this with an independent view, who doesn't have a stake in its outcome.
Somebody from out of state, federal level.
I don't know where we're going to
So
go on that,
ridiculous.
Bob. The people I talked to were in state. I talked to about 4 different entities on Friday afternoon.
Four
about
different
the possibility
entities.
of taking this over.
Name them. Who else is there besides the
Okay.
feds?
You'll have a decision
I don't know.
sometime this week.
I would hope. I would hope so. I would hope so. Yeah. Yeah, I would hope so.
Want to see if anybody else would like to say anything about Enrique for us?
Who
Anybody else?
works with him?
People who work with him?
Your people don't want it.
Family doesn't.
He's trying to discourage everyone from speaking.
We're going to leave that alone for right now. These guys are hurt. They were all downstairs crying 5 minutes ago. We're going to give them a break right now, okay?
His coworkers?
Sure. That's being investigated right now. It appears we have 2 dead, waiting to get a report back. We don't have anything else for you at this point. Okay, excuse me. 1 dead, 1 critical.
I don't know. He's talking about a different incident now.
Is the videotape what happened to Enrique, is that Mass State Police property, or was that done at one of their, I guess, training facilities, or?
It was at the academy. I don't know who has ownership of it. I just know that who's ever doing the investigation will have that.
You said you haven't viewed the video?
I have not.
He has not viewed the videotape. Are you flipping kidding me?
Such a great employee, and he went on to go into law enforcement. How difficult is this for you as the DA?
This is as hard as it gets. I mean, I love that kid. Love that kid. He's just the nicest kid in the world. I said kid, he was 25. He's a young man. Whole life in front of him. It's hard. Yes, it's hard. It's hard for all of us. I'm not the only one in this office suffering. There are a lot of people hurting right now. Okay?
Okay.
What's that?
How can people honor Enrique?
Pray for him. Say prayers. Say prayers for his family. They are hurt. All right. Thank you.
We've been listening to the Worcester County District Attorney there. That is Joseph Early Jr. speaking about Enrique Delgado-Garcia. That is the 25-year-old recruit at the Massachusetts State Police Academy in New Braintree who died as a result of injuries that he sustained during a defensive tactics boxing training exercise. Just to catch you up here, you just heard how emotional that was. DA Early Jr. saying that he was a dedicated victim witness advocate. He also added that because of the relationship that his office had with Enrique, that they will not be taking this case because of how close his office was with him. He said that he doesn't know who will be handling the case yet, but he's going to continue to investigate and that they want it done by someone who does not have a stake in the outcome. He also added, I thought this was interesting, that we know that it was videotaped, this training exercise. Now, again, Enrique Delgado-Garcia, a 25-year-old recruit at the Massachusetts State Police Academy in New Braintree, he passed away as a result of these injuries that he obtained during this training exercise. We're going to have much more on this online on NBCBoston.com. In the meantime, everyone, we will send it to 30 Rock, where NBC News Daily continues. Rock, where
Okay, that sucked.
we're going to have much more on this online.
That was, I don't know, quite possibly one of the worst press conferences I've ever seen. I am outraged. I learned nothing from that press conference other than this DA is a wuss. His office won't be investigating, but the Massachusetts State Police troopers assigned to his office will continue their investigation because he feels like he has a conflict because Enrique worked in his office and he loved Enrique. Wouldn't that mean that you would do a more thorough and intense investigation of this case than some other entity that he won't name that he thinks should take jurisdiction of this case? And then he tried to, in my opinion, silence the family. Oh, you don't really want to say anything, do you? No, they want their privacy. They want their privacy. I am outraged. You should be outraged. And that guy is a wuss, Joseph Early. He wants someone else to take over jurisdiction because, he loved Enrique too much. Okay. Thanks, Amy in Boston. My brother's been a combat Marine for 3 decades. Something like this has never happened on his watch. They do some crazy drills in the Marines. Yes, they absolutely 100% do. Thank you for appreciating my channel, Cyber Chick, and for your super chat. Thank you, Reality Check. Dr. Ms. Julie Moskowitz, thank you so much for thanking me. Thank you, Kathy, for gifting 5 memberships. And Susan, for your $50 super chat. You're always so generous to this channel and a huge supporter. And this is absolutely heart-wrenching. RIP Enrique. They have a video, he says. Joseph Early says, they have a video of the incident, just like they reported they had a video of Karen Reed hitting John O'Keefe with her car. Guess what happened? That video never materialized. And then in his next breath, when he's asked 3 times by 3 different reporters, he says he admits he did not watch the video. He did not even watch the video before coming out today, 3 days after Enrique Delgado-Garcia's death, since he was pulled off life support at 4:30 p.m. He said Saturday, but I think it was Friday. He didn't even have the wherewithal to watch the video, he says. You loved Enrique so much that you could not even watch this video. Does anybody believe that? Or can I have some Twilight Zone emojis, members? Because I am, again, in shock and horror. He couldn't even watch the video. Susan Costello, he could not watch the video. Where is that video? Says Midgie. Or Miji, thanks for being a member. We need that tape. Again, says Midgie for 4 months. Sarah in shock and horror. Someone that doesn't have a stake in the outcome. Interesting choice of words that he said more than once. Words matter, sir. Tell us you can't be trusted without telling us you can't be trusted. I would submit to you that he would do a better job investigating this case. But he's going to let what did he say? The finest, Massachusetts State's finest, investigate this. The troopers assigned to his office, troopers who are in the same category as Michael Proctor, Yuri Buchanek, Tully, who are all under internal affairs investigation. I hate to say it, Mr. Early, but your public does not have a whole lot of confidence in you. And I can say that because a whole hell of a lot of them, probably 3,200 of them or more, are in my chat right now. We will never see the video, says Midgie. Liz Swift said, he said not another district attorney's office. Yeah, so tell us feds without saying feds. What other organization is there, right? What other he had a grieving family standing next to him. And as Mel Lane says, they're looking for privacy. They're looking for help. They're looking for help from anybody who will offer it to them. What did you have them standing there for? Just for show? Thanks, my pal Sal Vintage, for becoming a member. And Teacup Kraken says the same thing. There was videotape, just like they had video of Karen Reed hitting John O'Keefe. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Thanks, Pam, for your super sticker. I'm outraged. Are you? Lisa says, what did they ask him to do before the video of the fight? That's the question to ask. Nancy says the family has seen the video. I don't, was it inverted? Was there a timestamp on it? Was there metadata? What did it show? Was it from so far away that you couldn't even tell who was boxing in the video? But he claims that there's video of this incident. Does it show his leg snapping? I'm curious to know. Did he have headgear on? Mouth guard? Boxing gloves? AJ Charles says he probably never heard of Enrique before this. Yes, but he loved him. He loved him so much. He loved him so much that he's going to disqualify himself from even investigating it because he has such a conflict because of his love for Enrique is what he wants you to believe. How about maybe the Fed stepped in and said, guess what? We're taking over. We're taking over. Do they have any finest? Christy wants to know. BL says they should have a lawyer with the family at all public appearances. Susie Q says Boston's finest, such as what we've seen. Lisa Louise, great question. How's the Worcester District Attorney's Office conflicted out, but not the MSP assigned to the Worcester District Attorney's Office when the decedent, Enrique Delgado-Garcia, was a trainee at the MSP Police Academy? We have seen in other cases, perhaps, troopers covering for other troopers, troopers covering for other law enforcement officers of different organizations like the Boston PD or the Canton PD. We've seen it. How is the MSP not conflicted? I have so many questions. Kate says, imagine if Marcy's office gets tapped. Oh, I think that from what I've heard on the street, that's been going on for quite some time. Pierre says this is a farce. Yeah. Thanks, Della. Wouldn't the DA review the video to see if there could have been foul play, to know whether to contact the FBI? If he loved him so much, how about that? Yeah. How about get busy? Wow. Nikki, who ordered the code red on this poor child? Kind of reminds me of A Few Good Men too. Also, where was the presser coverage in Espanol? Enrique's community deserves to hear your milquetoast comments too. Yep. We just watched a press conference from Suffolk County, New York District Attorney Ray Tierney releasing some more information about what they were calling an Asian John Doe whose remains were discovered all the way back in 2011. And they had a Mandarin interpreter at the press conference interpreting it into Mandarin in case there were any potential relatives of this John or Jane Doe that may recognize the new sketches that they put out. They had a Mandarin interpreter. How do you not have a Spanish interpreter? Deflect and protect. That's how they roll. Yeah, kind of like deny till you die, right? No, he said someone else is hurt, but he was talking about a different incident because some moronic reporter in the crowd decided to, pull focus from this subject and talk about a different subject, which was kind of lame. And said, who encouraged the plug to be pulled without a translator? I don't know. My information is that he was an organ donor and that things needed to be, I don't know. But that's another good point. Healy will never do anything about it. Tiffany's like, I don't even know what we just watched. Barry Raven all the way from Ireland, because you guys are international. Please tell me, if you're not watching from Massachusetts, where you're watching from and where you are outraged from. Barry Raven from Ireland says, that DA is shameless. I'm disgusted with that sham. What the heck was that? It was nothing. It was nothing. They had to get out there in front of the cameras and say something. So they got out there and said nothing other than, we love Enrique so much. Look how broken up our entire office is about this. And in fact, we loved Enrique so much and we are so upset by his death, killing, murder, beating, or, medical event that we cannot possibly investigate this. We are conflicted out. Kelly's like, distasteful. How many more are going to die before something's done? Scott Corey's like, why is there an investigation if it was on videotape? That's all they need is the video. Done. Deal. Moon Goddess surmises he was using the family. David Reese says, how can they be conflicted out and have jurisdiction? And then he says in his next breath that he's going to decide which organization takes it. My opinion, my hypothesis, the feds are already involved. That's what I think. That is what I think. Josh Levy is probably already taken over, and he had to get out there and make some sort of statement, which was pretty inane. Right, Michelle? Is it possible the DA is not at liberty to say the FBI is involved? Is it possible that the FBI took the video and is like, nobody's watching this until we say so? I don't know. Great point. Another perspective today. Hope the FBI got all his calls, in-office visitors since this happened and through the weekend. Yeah, that's a good point. Don K9 saying what I'm thinking. He didn't see the video, plausible deniability, but of course that's a lie if there's a video. He saw it. Roger is calling him another spineless wonder. Where's the governor? Oh, the governor gave a statement. We read it yesterday on the stream. You can go back and listen and watch it. I don't think she's said anything more since then. Echo Justice is outraged. BL, the cousin needs to be protected. He's the one that had a lot of conversations with Enrique. He knows some secrets. I don't know. That is a possibility. That's a possibility here. Let's see if his family has posted anything. They now have a YouTube channel. I'm going to tell you to go subscribe to it as soon as I can. I just got to look it up so that you guys can go subscribe to it. The name of the channel is at Justice for Enrique Delgado-Garcia. Check it out. They published a video yesterday, a tribute to him that we showed on the stream as well. Let's see here. His family has posted anything else. There's something here about a memorial. Hold on one second. Well, it doesn't really say anything about when this memorial is allegedly supposed to be. This really said nothing. It said nothing. It was for show. This was for show. Yeah, I pray they have a lawyer too. Jean Marie. Levy's going to be a busy, busy, busy man. Absolutely is. Thank God for Josh Levy, my friends. Thank you, Liz Swift. The MSP boxing team, the only one in the country. 1976. Somebody put in the chat last night, and I can't speak to the truth or veracity of this, but they said there was something called Fight Night that would happen during Police Academy training at the MSP. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's interesting. It's like Fight Club. Bernie says Haas longed to die in the boxing ring. Thank you, AJ Charles, for the 5. I do love the way you showcase even non-paid chat. Thank you for always doing that. So thank you again. Sure. If somebody has something interesting to say, I'm going to put it up there. Doesn't matter if you're a paid member, subscriber, super chatter, but I do appreciate all of you. Salty Girl, thanks for your super sticker. Matilda, watching from the Netherlands. See, this is a worldwide story now. You know why? It's because people like you sharing this out, getting this information out there. There's nothing that the family wants more than public attention on this case. So please share it out. FBI HQ is coming, says Pam McKinnon. Thank you for the 10, Pam. I appreciate you. Gretchen B36. Thanks for the 10. I fear that Enrique learned something when working in the DA's office and he was murdered because of what he knew. Getting an Officer John O'Keefe feeling on this. Thank you. Thank you, Gretchen, so much. Auntie Bev's verdict form. Thank you for being a member for 4 months and says also love how you highlight non-members here. Classy. Thank you for noticing. Zimmy. Used to be Zimmy from the bus stop. Thanks for the super chat. Manipulating the crowd and press with emotion. You think? When is Josh Levy going to get fed up? Oh, I like your play on words, Colleen St. Ange. When's he going to get fed up? This can't go on. Thank you for the 20. And thank you for helping shine a light on this. This is horrific. This is horrific. Let me see. I know that his brother was tweeting some, or maybe it was his cousin who was tweeting some stuff yesterday. Somebody posted an obituary, but it goes right away to something that looks sketch, so I'm not even going to click on it. Wow, just wow. What say you? Deborah Kuhn says that video won't tell because it didn't happen there, in my opinion. You can't find the YouTube channel? Let me see if I can pull it up for you. Hang on a sec. Let me see if I can pull that up for you. So that you can find it. I linked it in my last stream, but here it is so that you can find it. I'll show you what their landing page looks like. Here it is. Justice for Enrique Delgado-Garcia. I believe this was the transporting of his body to the medical examiner's office. Sub up. Spread the word, my friends. Nobody can do it the way you guys can. Here's the family. And then this was a tribute that I can't play because of the music, but I can't play because of the music either, because they will immediately strike. And what we need is for this video not to get shadow banned. So please share it. Here's the channel again. Oops, stop. So you know what the landing page looks like. Justice for Enrique Delgado-Garcia. And it is just at Justice for Enrique Delgado-Garcia. Kindred Spirit says they had to do the big deal with the transport as they forgot to do with Officer John O'Keefe. Because this channel just started yesterday. Why does it only have 126 subs? Go sub up. It's up to 175 right now as we've been sitting here. I'm going to, you know what? I'll link it. Hang on. I'll link it in the chat so that you can, I'm the only one who can post links here. Go sub up and spread the word. There you go. How could he have not seen the video? 2,000 more people need to hit the like button, so please do. That'd be really awesome. If somebody knows the cousin's Twitter, that would be helpful. Actually, because he was posting some stuff yesterday. I was only 68, Mosey, when you joined yesterday. Noel is totally outraged from Ireland too. There's no way MSP can investigate with all the high profile mess up currently going on. Yeah, seems that way, right? I mean, if you just search hashtag justice for Enrique, you can find a lot of stuff on the Twitter. And hopefully we'll get some answers soon, but not today. Not today, folks. But he did say that the autopsy has been completed, but they just do not have the report and the manner or cause of death yet. So he said manipulating the crowd and press with emotion. Colleen, we already addressed that one. Barba, thanks for the 5. This screams credulity. Strains credulity, right? This class should not be allowed to graduate, assuming that they know something, right? Angelique, thank you so much for becoming a new member. I'm outraged. I know that you are outraged. And we know that if they were actually in the middle of a boxing training exercise, that they would have been wearing protective gear, because Scott, one of my moderators and former NYPD, has told me this. And also Sean, who's been through 4 or 3 training academies, Sean McDonough, who did a show with me last night, also opined about that. We don't know if I don't think it was an independent medical examiner. It's taken to, I think, Westfield. Is that what we decided last night, or that's what they told us? Thank you. Thank you very much. I see that you sent me a screenshot, Reality, but it's a screenshot, so there's no links. You guys, there are Justice for Enrique Facebook groups. There is, and I think it's Justice for Enrique Delgado-Garcia on Facebook. There may be we got the YouTube, and there may be a TikTok and an Instagram as well. So take a look out for those. And thank you so very much to whoever bought me a matcha latte, and for Katie for the Venmo, talking about interpreters and how they're supposed to have one. And thank you, Reality Check, for tuning in and for sending me a screenshot. This is horrific. We hope to get to the bottom of this at someday. Maybe we'll see the video someday. Thanks, moderators, for as always keeping the chat classy. I know it's not easy, especially when we talk about anything that has to do with Massachusetts that could even in any way be connected to the Karen Read case at all. And members, replay viewers, thank you. Please hit the like button. Do all the nice things that YouTube likes, the YouTube-ish type things. That would really be helpful. Thank you, David Reese, who says, I saw the photos you and Sean shared. To me, it looks like it was done with a baton. Thank you, David. If you guys didn't watch that show, please watch it. For those of you who are interested, we are going to cover the Ashley Benefield hearing. It's supposed to happen at 1:30. I have it up for 1:15, although I cannot find anybody who's broadcasting it yet. So if we can't find it being broadcast, we may have to cancel that until such time as that hearing is available live. So if you're interested, hang up here, and when we hang up, and go and hit the notification bell for that. And thank you, Team Brittany, for posting that as well. Carly Gregg on Court TV, YouTube for 10:30 Mountain Time. Well, 10:30 Mountain Time. Okay, cool. All right, we may go over to Carly Gregg instead. So thank you for that, Jessica. It's the Ashley Benefield hearing that has to do with the juror who may have lied on her questionnaire about being a victim and a perpetrator of DV, and whether or not that should entitle Ashley to a new trial. So that's interesting. Thank you, Jessica. I'm going to go look for that now. And if so, I will put up a stream to cover Carly Gregg as well. We're covering a whole lot of cases today. So thanks for hanging in there with me. As always, I love you guys. Hit the like button, smash it on your way out. Be cool, be kind, be classy. It's not hard. I promise you, it is so not hard. Peace. Justice for Enrique.